You know, it is often said that an automobile mechanic drives the worst running vehicles and that carpenters are known for living in unfinished homes. I would like to begin a crusade to advocate that IT professionals are not known for utilizing poorly running computers. Keeping your computer optimized for peak performance is a relatively simple and straightforward set of utility-driven operations. The utilities I choose to demonstrate for this presentation are included in one form or another in all of the most recent iterations of the Windows operating system. Time constraints do not permit me to discuss security, sweeps, or backups, but these are equally important in maintaining a reliable, efficient, properly running machine. Windows utilities provide all of the tools necessary to keep your machine running at optimum performance. Now, I would like you to now follow me as I demonstrate how to easily access and initiate the three most basic utilities to achieve and maintain your system at its peak operating efficiency. There are several methods given to access these utilities that include disk cleanup, error checking, and optimization and defragmentation of selected drives. But the method I choose is the one in which I have determined to be the easiest.
The three main components of routine maintenance are disk cleanup, error checking, and optimization and defragmentation. Now, I suggest running these in the order in which I present them so that the disk can be checked after cleanup to make sure that the necessary files were not removed or compromised during the cleanup process, but prior to optimization and defragmentation. I will begin this demonstration using Windows 8.1's Properties menu, which can be found by right-clicking on the chosen drive found using the Windows File Explorer. I have pinned the Explorer to my taskbar for ease of access, but it can also be found by right-clicking on the Start menu. Let me find the Start menu there, and clicking File Explorer. Right-click on the drive that you want to work with at this time and click on your Properties bar. Now, your disk cleanup can be found under your General tab. Just by clicking on that, it will begin running, and then you will be presented with a list of options. I generally go with the default options along with the recycle bin and my temporary files. Because of time constraints, we'll not run this, and I'll go ahead and click cancel at this point, but I will go straight into my tools, which is where you will find your error checking utility. Now, Windows usually will give me the advice that there's no errors on the drive, but I will tend to run this drive after an unexpected power interruption or something similarly, and again, because of time constraints, I'm not going to run this at this point. Now, as does error checking, the defrag utility can also be found on the Tools tab of the Properties window for any disk. Now, as a brief explanation, as files are deleted or moved, then there's gaps of unused space appear on the disk. When large files are saved, they are sometimes split by saving fragments on those gaps. Now, these fragmented files will take longer to save or open because the fragments must be gathered from around the disk, and defragmenting rearranges files into contiguous blocks of disk space and consolidates most of the empty space into these one large blocks. But to optimize, you would click on the Optimize, choose your drive that you would like to optimize, but it would go ahead and it will present you with the percentage of fragmentation that is experienced on that drive. As you can see, I do try to keep my machine running, but should that be, I don't know, I usually run between 3 and 5%, I would choose to optimize. And most individuals who shut their power down in between uses of their machines are the ones that will, the percentage of fragmentation will tend to grow and escalate because the automatic utility or the scheduled utility cannot run. Through diligence and, weekly scheduling, none of these three operations take very long.
As you've seen, performing the basic steps to optimize your computer took all of 3 minutes. There's nothing difficult about it, but it needs to be done. Now, most of the utilities can be scheduled to run at predetermined intervals, but there are times that you will feel the need to run them manually. Now, I will run my checklist every time there is a power interruption, but a weekly run of these utilities usually keeps your computer running at its peak performance. Windows Utilities provides all the tools necessary to keep your machine running smoothly. Routine maintenance is essential for a smooth running machine. Windows Utilities provide the user with many options to perform these essential maintenances. As previously demonstrated, this can be achieved by using the disk cleanup to quickly remove unnecessary files and reduce the clutter on your drive, running the error checking utility to perform read and write tests on the disk and to move data from failing or bad sectors, and mark those areas as bad so as not to use them in the future, and run the optimization and defragmentation utility to consolidate, free space, and rearrange files into contiguous blocks to make the retrieval more efficient. The small investment of time and effort in performing maintenance on your computer can return large dividends in performance and longevity of your machine. Now, do you remember that mechanic and the carpenter? We don't want to be perceived as being like those guys. I strongly urge that we, as IT professionals, set the example and invest the time and energy necessary to keep our machines in tip-top shape. It really does take a minimum amount of effort to keep these very machines that we depend on optimized and running smoothly.